Hey, good afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, folks, whenever you see this. Mechanic Dave here. I got an '08 F250 Power Stroke. Customer stated oil in the coolant, so we're going to do a oil cooler swap. Got the old one out already. Now, there's some concerns I wanted to address with you guys, and you're going to use the old housing, obviously, and the new filter, or the new cooler comes with the upper or the middle housing there. Keep in mind, don't freak out like I did when you go to put these bolts in, because there's no threads. All these black bolts are self-tapping. The computer says if it's a new oil cooler cover, you're going to tighten it to 89 foot-pounds. A used cooler, we're going to do 62, let me rephrase that, 89 inch-pounds and 62 inch-pounds if it's a used cover. So I went ahead and just went one by one and colored whichever ones I tightened, so I know which ones I've done. Now what I wanted to do was let you know that the intake manifold does not need to come out on this. All the other stuff like the turbo and stuff does, but the way I got it out was now if you turn around the whole housing assembly, there's a fuel fitting, like to do a fuel pressure check right here, or excuse me, fuel, sorry, oil, sorry. Do an oil pressure check there. So whenever you go to pull this out, you're going to hit on the housing and you're going to hit on the port. Now the problem that I had was accessing these final 3 bolts here on the front. I couldn't get in because on the top there was so much stuff in the way. So what I did is, there's a sensor here, coolant temp sensor. I pulled it out, and then I went ahead and undid the power steering pump, left all the lines connected, unbolted the power steering pump. Once you get that sensor out, you can slide the pump over and pull it out. Then that gives you a perfect window to get to these 3 bolts here. Saved me a lot of time. The thing I didn't want to do, I didn't want to disrupt these banjo bolt fittings for these fuel lines. I want to disrupt as little as possible. I probably didn't need to undo the EGR and all that stuff either. I was thinking I was going to have to pull the intake, and I just pulled it down as far as I could. Now keep in mind, you're going to want to keep this area, as free of FOD as you can. I put rags in here to prevent any kind of debris from falling down in the motor. But ultimately, it was out of my comfort zone to do the 6.4. So I think the biggest thing I didn't like was manhandling that big turbo over there. Diesel Tech Ron says it's a 2-man job, and I totally agree with that fella. I did have to remove this fuel line that went to this side over here on the passenger side, but ultimately it was pretty straightforward. As I stated, these are all self-tapping screws and they are reusable, so that's that. I went ahead and bought a turbo kit that had the drain. I won't use any of these bushings as I didn't split the turbo. Banjo fittings, certain O-rings, crush washer. The crush washers are getting updated. That's an old one that I had in the bag just to try to match up some new ones. That's the part number for the turbo drain kit, turbo hardware kit I should say. I'm going to go ahead and redo the up CAC pipe turbocharger hose. When I removed it, I saw pieces of the inside kind of stick on the turbo, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace that. It comes with a clamp, with both clamps, and it's awesome because these are typically like 90 bucks from the dealership, and I think I paid $43.48 for this bad boy. CAC tube, upper driver's side, which is that bad boy there. And then the other thing I kind of wanted to point out, during the cab removal, they mentioned undoing this hose here, and you get rained on. I don't like screwing with that hose because I think about when the cab's back on, it's really gonna be a pain in the A. Or excuse me, that'd be this one here. So what I did was, right here, I disconnected right here in the center. The other end of that bad boy is, oh, where'd it go? Anyways, I just disconnected it right in the middle. You do still get a little wet. Not as bad as I would imagine this one here, because you gotta not only put your arm in the armpit of hell to get that clip out. I just think about when it comes time to putting it back on, I do not favor putting that one on versus the one right underneath the radiator assembly. So hopefully I can get this bad boy done today. They broke down from Florida. We're in South Dakota, and no other shop would help them out. And being that they were elderly, I just decided, well, what the hell, I'm already way behind. I might as well do a good deed and get paid for it. I guess that's not necessarily a good deed, but I did put them in front of everybody, and I got out of my comfort zone. So, well, I hope that little bit of tip helps you removing the, like I said, removing the front port on the oil cooler assembly right here, which is, well, there's that sensor, coolant sensor, that you'll remove, that's right here. And oh, here's that port. This is that port that goes on the front of that oil cooler housing. I don't know why I was thinking fuel. It's been a weird Monday. But remove that sensor, 3 power steering bolts, slide it over, pull it out, lay it down. Then you can get to your 3 10mm bolts. The one in the center is a stud style bolt, so remember that, because you're going to want the stud style bolt to go back for the wiring harness to clip on there, and then that goes to the coolant temp sensor. Other than that, if you guys got any questions for me, let me know, and I hope everything goes fantastic for your 6.4 repair. Take care, guys.